Hey gang, what's going on, and welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. Oh my god, I've just seen myself in the look at this hair. Right, hood up. There we go. Sith Lord activated. I must be honest, truthful and authentic with all of you. I had quite a long night, day and night yesterday, and I'm a delicate little flower today, hence uploading so late. 3:31 p.m, which is very late for me. Also, like, do you ever get this when you have a coffee, you're like, damn, I need to do some Chelsea work. I need to do some content creation. I know I'll have a coffee. And I was on my sofa, had a coffee, just immediately fell asleep. Do you ever get that? When coffee makes you more tired. I swear it's crazy, man. It either gives you like this delightful boost that you need, or it makes you fall immediately asleep, which I do not get. Anyway, welcome back to Chelsea News, which is the daily series here on Football Therapy, where I reflect on what's being said about the Blues, giving you my thoughts and feelings and opinions about it. More importantly, asking for yours. Today we're reacting to this article, Liam Rosenier's stance on the Liam Delap exit links. Of course, something that I've not actually reacted to yet on Football Therapy. Everton would like Delap, and many Chelsea fans aren't totally convinced about the young England striker, so we'll see Wagwan with this, and we'll do a little bit of understat comparisons, which is still an active data website, so we can still get our fingers all mucky in football statistics, even though FBref is now gone. Pour one out for FBref. Yeah, man, we could talk a little bit more loosely and broadly about Chelsea. Of course, strikers don't seem to be the biggest issue at the moment with the excellent form of João Pedro. It's more about not being stupid. That seems to be our biggest problem lately, considering, setting fire to the points at home against Leeds and Burnley, in the words of Chelsea manager. So we're gonna, get into all of that. Thanks for joining me, gang. If you are a returning visitor to Football Therapy, or indeed a new one, and you're yet to subscribe, do consider doing so. It's turbulent times. Is this working? It's turbulent times out there at the moment, but we will get through it together. Hopefully having some informative content and fun content on the way. So if you're yet to subscribe, why don't you do so? And if you choose to, oh god, you should hit that sweet, sweet bell, baby. Considering it could have been worse. Alrighty. Thank you for following this on podcast platforms as well by searching Football Therapy Podcast and all good podcast apps. And you can follow in 5-star rate. Those 5-star ratings apparently help me. Check it out on the Spotify. Right, so this is a Pete O'Rourke, who's the transfer correspondent for Football Insider. Exclusive. Why is this not working? It's because I'm clicking on the wrong thing. There he is. The striker in question, and the Chelsea manager probably watching on as his team concede a last-minute equaliser to Burnley. Because a footballer hadn't marked. He failed a marking assignment and was probably marked very lowly. Marked low grade for that. Jesus, my brain is quite literally in a blender. Anyway, I am capable of reading this article and talking to you about Liam Delap, so let's mosey on down through this piece. Chelsea manager Liam Rosenior is reluctant to lose Liam Delap this summer amid interest from Everton. He does feel very Everton. Everton. He does feel very Everton, doesn't he? At the moment, at least. The Toffees have identified the 23-year-old striker as an ideal striker target to strengthen their group ahead of next season. But Rosenior will not sanction the sale unless further attacking reinforcements come through the door at Stamford Bridge. he does know that Emmanuel Emegha's turning up, right? Right? Does he want 3 senior strikers? Now, look, I'm not opposed to this. I've been saying for years on this channel that there are great Chelsea teams that have had 3 senior striker options, you know. Of course, I do think Mark Yu will go out on another loan, like a proper loan where he can play every game. I think that's the appropriate thing to do for the young Spanish centre forward. Apparently, there's reports that Barcelona actually really are gutted he went to Chelsea for 5 million, which is pretty funny. And Datsun Satpave, however you say it, I do personally think he will go to Strasbourg on loan to play alongside an in-form Panicelli. I'm kind of guessing that, but I just sort of feel that would happen. Despite recent stories about Nico Jackson willing to return and play for Chelsea, I do still think maybe it'll be sold. But many of you Chelsea fans, we did a video on it. I would welcome him back. And, you know, we saw Rosenior play Delap on the wing like he did at Hull on a few occasions. I think we'd probably all feel a lot better seeing, for example, Nico Jackson on the left wing than Delap on the right wing. Do you know what I mean? Nico Jackson possibly even starting over the likes of Garnacho. But, you know, I don't think anyone puts Nico Jackson in like the untouchables, which is, of course, a vogue term this season. So maybe it is João Pedro, Emmanuel Emegha, and Delap. But if Delap goes, he wants someone else. But who do you bring in? Because like we've always wanted, like, if we sign a striker, we tried to sign Osimhen in that summer. You know, all the elite strikers have gone, and it kind of just feels like João Pedro is an elite striker in the making. So it's not really about buying all this money on a starting striker, I don't think. Although he's always been quite streaky, João. So we need to see him. We need the end of season evaluation, like I'm going to do with Rob Sanchez, basically. Okay, so let's read on. The new boss is set to stand in the way of Everton making a move for Delap, as sources, they have sources, have indicated to Football Insider that he wants 3 high-quality strikers to choose from next term. There you go. It's like your Drogba's, Torres's, was an Elka at the same time. Delap has started 9 Premier League games for Chelsea since he joined for 30 million. By the way, from Ipswich Town, but it's quickly become clear they have no intention of forcing him out the door at the end of the campaign. Yeah, because he's probably on very low base wage salary. He probably doubled, dare I say, tripled his Ipswich salary as soon as he signed for Chelsea. He's on a long deal. 30 million is not much money in the grand scheme of things, considering, you know, the report suggested that Chelsea, probably Everton, but Newcastle, Manchester United, and Bayern Munich were all willing to trigger, and teams in Italy trigger that clause. He chose Chelsea, and ultimately it felt like a bit of a win at the time. And I don't want to, like, you know, write the kid off. I don't. I know he's not the most favoured Chelsea player in the squad right now. Probably ranks above Garnacho, though. And possibly Tosin. I was going to say, just quickly before we continue, just a quick tangent. Axel Disasi is having a lovely old time at at West Ham. I saw a stat like in their previous, let's just make up a number because I can't be asked to actually check it. So like 28 games in all comps, something like that, late 20s, they had 1 clean sheet in all comps. And since he's come in, he's played 4 games and they've had 3 clean sheets in those 4 games. And apparently he's been very good, which is good for him, you know? If they stay up and he's like, oh, reasonable, they stay up, I wonder if he'll want to stay there or if he'll be like, I've showcased myself, now sell me to a Champions League team in Italy or something. Or if he wants to stay in London and think, you know, West Ham, let's stay at West Ham. I think it's good for Axel. It's good for Chelsea. You know, begrudgingly, it's good for West Ham, but we move. How much would Everton need to pay for Liam Delap, though? This is the next subheading in this article that I'm reading. Football Insider revealed last week, so I'm kind of late to the party here, that Everton would need to spend big in order to land Delap this summer. Would they? With Chelsea placing a significant price tag on his head already. Why, though? I do think his ceiling's still really high. I'm not one of these people that are just digging him out. And I do think he's profiled perfectly for the Premier League. Perfectly profiled for the Premiership. Some nice alliteration there. I do genuinely still think that. He's just had a terrible time with injury. Heard Matt Law say on the Londoners Blue pod chatting to Nick Villaney that he just gives them a pass because of how the season's been and the injuries. I sort of semi-do that, but also disappointed with some performances. But, scored against Barcelona, hat-trick of assists against Hull, some good hold-up play the other day. Can't remember what game I'm talking about, but, he's had some moments. The Blues are under no pressure to sell the front man as he's under contract in West London until the summer of 2031. And as a result, they'd be looking to recoup their initial 30 million investment in full. Yeah, well, that's not a lot. What are you placing a significant price tag? 30 million. I know we're like, that's an insane amount of money, but this is 2026 in the Premier League with Premier League money. 30 million. Sunderland, dropping 150 million or something on players. 30. Garnacho costs 40. 30. Look, Andre Santos costs 12 million euros or something, and Steval costs 29 million pounds. So there are bargains out there that we've done, but I totally understand why. And Everton would pay it, surely. Do you know what I mean? Surely. David Moyes, or the European pronunciation, David Moyes, and Everton are desperate to add another forward to their ranks amid ongoing concerns over the long-term future of Beto. I always thought he looked good, Beto, but apparently his numbers aren't great. But he was a proper striker. While Tiano Barry has experienced inconsistency in his first season in England. However, it has become clear that a deal to sign Delap would not come cheaply for them, and in any means it would be even more difficult for them with Rosenior not keen on the idea of losing him. Or at least at the moment. It would be very interesting if he says, nah, I want to go and play elsewhere. It's a weird one with Delap, because he played under Maresca, and Maresca really liked him. Remember last season, Maresca was waxing lyrical about Liam Delap when we played Ipswich twice, and we were like, we're going to sign Delap, aren't we? Maresca friggin' loves him. But then, obviously, Maresca leaves Chelsea, and you think, oh. But then Rosenior comes in, who quite literally also coached Delap, but not at under 23 level, at senior level. So he's probably like, score! Another chance to do this, The manager's stance could even see that price tag raised further in a bid to fend off interest that would seriously test the Merseysiders' resolve, as how much they will actually want the player. Yeah, also, you got to think of the kid himself. Does he want to go to Everton? Especially they've had tough times with strikers. He'll probably be looking at another English striker, Calvert-Lewin, that was at Everton for what felt like a million years, had what was broadly a terrible time apart from a fleeting spell under Ancelotti where he banged a load of goals. And then he's popped off to Leeds and he's killing it, scoring loads of goals again. So I'm not saying it's a poison chalice for strikers, but it's not like friggin' Chelsea's a well of joy when it comes to strikers. Although Joao Pedro is doing bits at the moment. Just quickly, we will go back to strikers, but there is a segment here on Lucas Bergvall. The midfielder from Tottenham. Apparently, he will not push to leave Tottenham in the summer. Aston Villa and Chelsea both inquired about signing him in January. He's understood to be happy in North London. Well, I tell you what. If Tottenham get relegated, firstly, lol. Secondly, how happy would you be then, mate? If Tottenham get relegated, I think we should call them up. Hold on, let's do this. Hello, Tottenham. Gutted for getting relegated. We're all very sorry to hear that here at Chelsea. So, look, one of the sporting directors, for some reason, just won't stop signing children. So, yeah, can you sell us Bergval? But more importantly, Mickey van der Ven. We'll take him. Okay, bye. Enjoy the championship. Bye. You know. We are going to return to strikers in a moment. Chelsea, there's another article here today. There's lots of aggregated articles on the same page I'm reading. Chelsea fans all say the same thing about Diego Moreira. I mean, he's mustard, bruv. He scored and assisted in Strasbourg's 3-1 win over Lyon on Sunday to help fire Gary O'Neill's side closer to Champions League contention in League 1. Yeah, look, man, I've been saying this for time. I even did a friggin' video on it. Moreira is granules, mate. He's mustard. He's sick. We sold him for like 1.5 million euros or something ridiculous to Strasbourg just because we didn't have any loans there. So let's go back to strikers and let's have a look at this understat comparison for a little fun. Damn it. There we go. Here's this season. I've compared João Pedro, our boy, to Emmanuel Emegha, who, by the way, this is not a fair comparison because Emegha has only got 407 minutes. Of course, he's been injured. Panicelli's been playing a lot. João Pedro has basically 2,000 minutes. 1995. I remember being a kid, and when back in my day, when you had like school books, you had to every day you write. I don't know if kids might still freaking do this, to be honest. You write in your your maths or your English book. Do you write your name in the corner, or was it just the day? And you write the date or the year or whatever. And I remember like being at school every day writing 1995. Old. Anyway, so look at this spider graph on understat.com. This is pretty juicy. It makes Emegha look amazing, but like I said, the sample size is small. What I do like, but hey, look, I mean, it's not just goals. He's assisting as well. Everything's very strong. João Pedro seems to be more creative, more key passes, more XG in the build-up. But, I mean, look, João Pedro, his scoring is 0.5 goals per game, which is like an elite return for, a striker that's especially not like a goal hanger. We don't get goal hangers anymore, but, he does a bit of everything. To score, that's an elite return. Pretty much completely equal to his XG as well, 0.449, very slightly outperforming it, but we're so used to Chelsea strikers underperforming, it's a welcome change. One thing that I'm always saying is shot volume's too low for João Pedro. Like, look at Emegha, over 3.5 shots per 90. More shots, ladies and gentlemen, more goals. I'd be very interested to add last season into that. Boom. Yeah, man. Look at Emegha, bro. That is, I know it's Ligue 1, but it's not like he's playing for PSG in Ligue 1. He's playing for Strasbourg. So, one of the smaller clubs, no disrespect to our little sister. Obviously, João Pedro's still got really good, balanced player in terms of expected goals and key passes is much stronger there. But Emegha just looks like more of a goal scorer, man. And we're going to have these two strikers in the future. So you have these two guys. Will Delap want to be fighting with these two guys? Do you know what I mean? Is Delap going to be like, bun this? Because you probably want like these two guys and like a youth player. Like, will Shim be able to be called up a bit more? He'll be 18 then, and Guy will be on loan. And I don't know. I think we probably could survive and losing Delap, personally, when Emegha arrives. I wouldn't necessarily cry for him, but I am one of the guys who still believe he might come good. He's a fighter. We like a fighter at Chelsea. Obviously not too much. Stop getting cards and, don't get red cards off the bench, basically. Stuff like that. But yeah, he can help the team. Like, in theory, when he came on against Burnley when we were a man down, it was the perfect kind of player to come on and drag your team up the pitch, but he didn't do that. But the Burnley game was generally all round pretty terrible in the end. I'm kind of fine either way. We haven't made. We won the Liam Delap raffle. Loads of teams offered to trigger the clause. He came to Chelsea. He's not done anything yet. It's been broadly disappointing, but he's been injured. He probably will come good to a certain level. You know, he'll probably come good to a certain level, and Chelsea might flog him, or he'll stay here. I don't know, because a couple of different things. I'm pretty easy, to be honest, bro. I could, if we sell him, fine. If we keep him, fine. My main issue is just this collective, mental fragility. Probably need better defenders, really. You know, Reece James and Cucurella are good. I do really like Fofana. You know, we know that, but he needs consistency. Colwell is going to come back. We probably will buy a defender. We're going to see Mamadou Sarr more before the end of the season. I don't know. You know, a lot of people were annoyed with Gusto with that no-look pass as well when he shouldn't have done that against Burnley. There's just a lot of silliness that needs to be ironed out of the team collectively. But there's a lot there. It's funny, isn't it? Like, I watch the Chelsea fans, understandably all frustrated and kind of arguing amongst themselves on social media. And, you know, I have a little lurk sometimes to see what man is saying. And, you know, just this sort of big collective criticism of the team and, you know, how equipped we are to navigate certain competitions. I genuinely think it's just a mentality and concentration thing that would be the biggest step up. But probably, like, for me personally, I guess a new defender and a left winger. I genuinely think we just needed, like, a really high-quality left winger. Steva was sorely missed on the weekend as well. Yeah, I do think, you know, you want a fully informed Cole Palmer and a fresh left winger and a concentrating defense that can concentrate, basically. But let me know what you think. Please do leave your thoughts down in the comments section. Very, very happy to have you here, guys. Thank you, as always, for supporting my content on YouTube or Spotify video, wherever you watch it. Take care of yourselves. Peace.